You'll notice in this video that I don't have a dog here with me, and that is intentional. The reason for that is that despite the shutdown, you should still be working on your puppy being okay with being alone and being away from you. And there's a couple different ways that you can do that. So right now, my dog is in my home. He's in the living room. I have the door shut of the room that I'm in, and so I'm away from him. When I do leave him alone, he cries a little bit and he whines, but he eventually does lay down. And so it's normal for dogs to whine a little bit and show signs that they are unhappy that you have left them alone. They shouldn't be getting destructive, so they should not be able to get to things to chew them or have accidents all over the home. So if you are not with the puppy, then they need to be in the crate and they need to be put away so that they can't get to things that they shouldn't be able to get to. But they may cry a little bit because you've left them alone and they want to be a part of whatever it is that you're doing. So some crying is normal. What we don't want is for the dogs to hit a point where they start experiencing separation anxiety, and that is a panic disorder. So what it looks like when a dog is getting closer to being in separation anxiety territory would be, there's a lot of drooling in the crate when you come back to let them out. You've put food in the crate and they don't eat it at all. Now, sometimes dogs just aren't hungry. So if you've put their breakfast or something and they don't eat it, that's not necessarily a good judge of separation anxiety or not. But, you know, like a really good Kong or something like that is helpful as a judge of, is the dog so stressed out that they don't want to eat because I'm giving them a Kong with peanut butter and lots of other good stuff and they're still ignoring it. If the dog is barking and crying and howling continuously, or so loudly that you can hear it outside of the home, or if you set up a video camera, it gets picked up by the video camera. So what you can do, if you're not sure if that kind of thing happens, is put the dog away, go outside the home, either, sit in your car with the window down so that you can hear if the dog is barking, or sit on your front porch or back porch. Try not to make any noise, because if your dog can hear that you are on the front porch or back porch, that might be making them bark. And so we don't want dogs to be getting to the point of crying and freaking out and carrying on in their crate. If you have a dog that is already currently doing that, please contact me so that we can talk about what's going on and we can figure out, how exactly we need to address this moving forward. But for most of our dogs, there's just going to be that little bit of whining because they don't want to be left alone, and then that's it, and they get over it. Ways that you can work on alone time throughout this shutdown would be like I'm doing now. So my dog is in a different room than me, and that's just where he is. So if he were to be barking or crying, I'm going to wait until he is quiet to return so that he learns quiet behavior makes the human come back. Quiet behavior gets me back out of my crate. I can also take a walk without my dog. So you can still do a walk with the dog at some point in the day, but take a walk either by yourself or with other members of the family. If you live by yourself, then you'll go by yourself. If you have other members of the family, the whole family goes out together so that the dog is left totally alone, like they would be if you were to go to work and your kids were to go to school. So you can go take a walk, leave the dog at home, come back, and then continue on with your day. You can also like I said before, put the dog in their crate, go sit on the front porch or the back porch and read a book for a little bit, FaceTime a family member or call a family member, or just sit outside and, watch what's going on your street. So there are ways that you can mimic being gone even though we're all housebound right now. And it's really important that you do those activities so that the dog doesn't have a really hard transition when this is all over, because this will eventually end and we will all get to go back to work and we'll get to go back with our daily routines, and your puppy needs to be prepared for that. So if you're working from home, what you can do is put the puppy in a different room, put them in their crate, you go to a different room, work from home, do your stuff for a couple hours, and then you can let the puppy out and let them join you for the rest of your workday if you'd like. So you don't need to do the full 8 hours that you would do if you were going to your job's location and being there all day, but you should work up to at least a couple hours if you're able to, where the dog is put away and that's their alone time and nobody is talking to them, nobody's interacting with them. If the dog is barking, you're not going to yell quiet or hush, because if you weren't home, you wouldn't be there to tell them that. So if you think the dog has to go potty, then wait for a moment of silence before you reappear to let them out. And if their alone time isn't done yet, so let's say I wanted to do an hour of alone time for my dog, and let's say I have a young puppy, so there's a chance that my puppy has to break at some point in that hour. If my puppy starts barking, I'm going to go grab them, let them out. Let's say I was 40 minutes into the alone time, I'm going to put them back so that they get that other 20 minutes of alone time that I had originally planned. If the crate is something that is still new to the puppy, I know we've got some new puppies that have gone home recently, but judging by a lot of your Facebook posts, I think things have been going well. But we'll talk about crate training in the next video so that we make sure that the crate is a happy, fun place and that the dog is okay being there even when we leave.